Out of question time, Andrew, there was a bit of a mess up by the opposition.
Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor's had a shocker here, Kieran. He has, as his officers admitted, misspoke. He's asked a question of the PM around inflation figures. They were annual figures. He said they were monthly figures. And really, anyone who heard this question should know that there was an issue with it, because how could Vegemite have gone up 8% month on month? Now, the question was based on a Sydney Morning Herald article by Shane Wright, which specifically says that they are monthly UBS figures, but then it goes on to say they are year-by-year figures. They are annual figures. So they release annual figures each month. But he's asked it as if it's just a monthly increase. Like, for example, Vegemite up, I think, 8%, yogurt up 12%. And obviously the government's cottoned on pretty quickly that Angus Taylor is just wrong when he asked this question. For a Shadow Treasurer, I think this is deeply embarrassing. Have a listen to the exchange in question time.
In the last month alone, the price of Vegemite has increased by 8%, peanut butter by 9%, yogurt has increased by 12%. Having promised to take responsibility, will the Prime Minister apologise to Australians for failing to take pressure off inflation, meaning Australians will pay more at the checkout?
The CPI jumped 2.1% in the March 2022 quarter on his watch, the largest quarterly rise this century. Germany 20.4, Italy 13, UK 18.1, United States 9.9. Every single one of those countries has higher food inflation.
Vegemite up 8%, not in a year, in a month, Deputy Speaker, in a month. They think it's funny.
So he did it twice. He did it twice, Kieran. He did it firstly in question time, and then he's gone again in I assume that was an MPI, and said it again. I mean, this guy wants to be Treasurer of Australia. He's got to stop making mistakes like that. It's a shocker. It's a shocker. And look, his officers admitted he misspoke, but geez, he cops enough flack from the government in question time as it is. He really needs to clean up his act on these basic facts. It's not that hard a job, Shadow Treasurer. You've got bad economic conditions at the moment. You've got the opportunity in front of you to attack the government. And how does this rank on the sort of stuff-ups you've seen in this place?
Well, one thing I would say is that if you're a staff member, whatever else, it's not them to blame on that, because while they might have, put a number down, the protagonist, the person in the job, needs to pick up a mistake.
And why wouldn't you pick that up?
Well, as you said,
I mean, you're going to see that and you're going to go, geez, Vegemite up 8% in a month. Are you serious? Can we check this? That would be my reaction if I was Angus Taylor.
Year on year, we're talking
80%.
Yeah, so...
Look, some of the prices have been crazy. We know that. Around construction, it's up 20, 30% a year. That's why dwelling approvals are down. We're just about to get to that. And we know that food prices, grocery prices are out of control as well. But I think any reasonable politician should have not just read that, if you like you're saying. They should have put the magnifying glass over.
Well, that would be sort of ringing alarm bells, wouldn't it, if you saw a number like that? So what I
don't reckon Peter Dutton would be that thrilled about this error today.
No, exactly. But for the staff member or staff members, you just got to say, well, people do make mistakes in that sense. But if you're the person going in and reading it, you should be the editor, so to speak. You've got to pick up that mistake. It's your job.
Look, I've got to say to you, Kieran, I've been watching, now for months, the opposition in question time, and they're barely landing a blow. And there are issues where you can be. There are things like appointments for mates. I've raised this cyber wardens grant issue, which I think is worth pursuing. Their strategy, I know the government thinks it is really predictable. And I know what Peter Dutton's trying to do, because cost of living is everything. And he just hammers away and hammers away and hammers away, and finally some of it sticks. But you've got to do better in question time than the opposition's doing at the moment. That is a prime example of it.